Voila! Your dream vacation to Turkey starts from rupees 79,999 only with GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Hello and welcome to Galatta Plus. In this video review episode, we are going to be talking about Ranjith's Thangalaan. The film stars Vikram. It has a number of interesting threads, but they don't come together and the film doesn't connect emotionally. Now, they say you should enter a film with zero expectations and simply submit yourself to what the film is, as opposed to what you think the film is going to be or what you want the film to be. But with Thangalaan, this is difficult. The expectations are huge because 1. It is a film by Ranjith. 2. It stars Vikram, who never takes a role lightly. And 3. The director and the actor have been on a hot creative streak of late. Ranjith is coming off Sarpata Parambara, the anthology film Dammam, and Natchathiram Nagargirathu, which is his most daring experiment in terms of form, breaking the boundaries between theatre and cinema. As for Vikram, take out Cobra and we have had a blazing display of both star power and actor power in Mahan and the 2 Ponniyin Selvan films, especially the second part. So does Thangalaan live up to the hype, the expectation we have created for ourselves in our minds? The answer, sadly, is no. For Vikram, who plays Thangalaan, the film is a triumph. I could not make out if the character was underwritten or whether the lack of emotional connect was due to a much longer film being brutally cut short. In other words, I could not make out if this film's problem is its screenplay or its editing, but Vikram gathers scraps of disconnected material and creates a totally awesome presence, as in a presence that creates awe. His voice stands out, his voice is different, the face looks different, the way he pushes himself towards his wife while still sitting, that body language feels different. The anguish on his face, framed by flames destroying his crops, that anguish feels different from all the other anguish we've seen him portray in other films. It's a big performance, and at first Vikram plays the oppressed character as an externally happy but internally tormented man. He's tormented by visions of war, visions from a long ago past he seems to be a part of, but slowly as he realizes his destiny, the acting becomes more shaded. At times, like when someone dies, he seems to shrivel into himself like a snail. At other times, he's a ferocious fighter. But how can a single performance save a movie? Thangalaan places so much on Vikram's shoulders that it feels like that is all that matters. The film is about mining for gold in the Kolar area in the 1850s, and the story is some kind of magical realist adventure plus some kind of messiah saga where a man realizes that he's the one, plus some kind of commentary on how the oppressed have been oppressed down the ages. This latter part reminded me of Bala's Paradesi. These individual threads are interesting, but they don't come together in a coherent way. I think Ranjith, with his editor, has tried to structure the film itself like one giant hallucination, like the visions that Thangalaan has. Thangalaan keeps whispering some kind of mystic prose poetry and stuff like that. But if that was the intent, what we lose is narrative coherence. The scenes don't flow into each other. They seem to be chaotically smashed together like a slideshow. And the staging of many of the sequences is confusing in terms of geography and in terms of what's happening and in terms of positioning of the actors involved. The big action set pieces involving panthers and snakes don't work, but what's more surprising is that with the exception of Thangalaan, none of the characters are established strongly. Take the character played by Pasupathy. He's rock solid as always. The man is trying to break free of his situation by converting to Brahmanism, renouncing meat and so on and so forth, and he urges others to do the same. Now, if they want to reach a heaven apparently reserved only for the dominant caste, this is what he thinks the solution is. This is a pitiful solution, but the pity doesn't trickle down to the audience. As for Thangalaan, his way of reaching heaven, that is his way of breaking free of his hellish life on earth, is to align himself with a Britisher named Clement, played by Daniel Calgeterone, who seeks gold. Why Clement would set out on this quest with just a party of so few of his own men is anyone's guess, or maybe the answer is in one of the many dialogues I couldn't quite catch properly due to the sound mix. Whatever the reason, Clement recruits Thangalaan and becomes Thangalaan's ray of hope, and we get another beautiful idea of a scene. The near-naked, barefooted, oppressed man gets to wear a shirt, a pair of pants, boots, plus he gets to ride a horse. the moment should feel triumphant, but again, it ends up feeling distant. We see these things happening, but these things don't cross the eyes and enter the heart. This is an emotionally distant film, and we feel nothing when people die or are oppressed or end up betrayed. Everything is generic at the surface level. Parvathythiruvothu is given a generic role as Thangalaan's wife. Bits of the actor's feistiness, her life, peek through, but not nearly enough. And given what we know towards the end about the witch-like character that Malavikamohanan plays, her earlier actions don't make much sense. I think the main problem, or rather the main challenge Ranjith and his team faced, is trying to resolve the tropes of an adventure movie with the tropes of a drama about oppressed people. Form-wise, Thangalaan is as daring an experiment as Natchathiram Nagargirathu. Ranjith gives us very little backstory, for instance. He tries to establish the rules of this world through visuals rather than words, but this time it doesn't click. Gvprakashkumar goes for a thunderous score that attempts to tie the two tonalities together, but we needed more. Maybe this story would have benefited from a more conventional treatment. We get a donkey, we get a peacock, we get a beheaded Buddha statue, we get a knife gifted by a king. These things surely have some kind of symbolic meaning. What we don't get is a coherent, affecting film. And that's it about Thangalaan. If you like this video review, do subscribe to Galatta Plus and see you soon at the movies.
Hola! Your dream vacation to Turkey starts from rupees 79,999 only with GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.